slain. All right, let's talk about ChatGPT. There's been a lot of hype about this ChatGPT technology. It is the AI ML model that provides a dialogue prompt so that you can ask it questions and it seems to respond in a human way, but in actuality, I think it's pretty dumb, actually, and I think it is way overhyped technology. So I want to explain why. And so there's a lot of reasons, but this is one of the reasons why ChatGPT is pretty dumb. This is the iPhone. Pure magic. To many people, they think this is just absolute wizardry, a magical device, a window into a digital world. It's not, right? It's just software that looks pretty with nice animations, shiny buttons, rounded corners. But it takes a lot of people by hype and they think that's magical. And the same kind of goes with the hype around ChatGPT. Let's take a look at this thing. ChatGPT optimizing language models for dialogue. So they just reframe traditional ML models into a dialogue manner. And they can do some things like they can seemingly correct code for you. It doesn't have any comprehension actually. It can answer questions like how do you break into someone's house? How do you protect your home from burglary? These are just some of the examples that they give you. What is Fermat's little theorem? And they can give you kind of a Wikipedia-esque entry here. And they can even help you write a short note to introduce yourself to your neighbor. Hi there, my name is so-and-so. I just moved in next door. Best, your name. And then you can ask it to make it more formal as well, and it will spit out this nice piece of text, a paragraph of words, which some people think is going to revolutionize the industry. And you need to understand that words, text, people don't read anymore, okay? So in a world where content is king, is this the king of content? Text. So the way I see it, at least in this day and age, we're talking about the modern day and age, not like 10, 20 years ago. Today, there's so much competition for high quality, good content. We're talking about these viral addictive shorts on TikTok, moving videos and images with really well thought out content that's just made to go viral. Is this paragraph of text spun out by ChatGPT, which is oftentimes nonsensical and has no real information in it, is this the king of content, or will people learn to just ignore this garbage? So maybe it will turn out to be like those deep fakes from a few years ago that everybody was so concerned and panicked about. People learned to ignore those and it became a parlor trick, a little gimmick, pretty fun sometimes, good for some memes. And I want to talk about another chat technology, Facebook Messenger bots. If you remember this from a few years ago, people thought Facebook Messenger bots, these chatbots, would be the next revolution, and these chatbots would just talk to you, they would be doing customer service. And so the idea here was that people would chat with these Facebook Messenger bots, and this would be the future of UI, where people would just type SMS text messages to a robot and it would just respond back in a way that sounded like a human, and they would just abandon the visual UI interfaces, the pictures, animations, and videos of their websites, their apps, their buttons, and they would just be typing text with their thumbs to these robots. And of course, this technology never took off. It never had the chance. But, people thought it was kind of cool, right? It kind of seemed like, hey, maybe you're talking to a real human being. What people were actually trying to do was something similar to WeChat mini programs. So this is the everything app that Elon Musk wants to kind of turn Twitter into as well. But WeChat is like this massive all-in-one everything app that has taken China by storm at least. And what makes WeChat so good, and this is what the West has been trying to catch up with, is they have these mini programs that allow any other developer, project, or service to come in and build an interface that allows people to start interacting with the program. They can buy stuff, buy clothes, food, drinks, read menus, read reviews, get movie tickets. Take note, however, that none of these mini programs are chat interfaces actually. They're completely visual. It's just called WeChat, but it's got nothing to do with chat actually. And so kind of what happened is all of us took a look at this and said, WeChat, hey, it's chat, we need ChatGPT, and we actually made a text interface chat program when in reality we needed some visual interfaces here. And we just totally got ourselves confused. And quite frankly, this is typical of engineering behavior. They just start solving problems without having clarified the question, just because it seemed like an interesting problem to solve. Quick pause, this video is brought to you by Tech Interview Pro, Amgen Patent, or cool
Google Assistant
at techinterviewpro.com. And so if you've seen those other text-speech AI interfaces, the advanced ones like Siri, Alexa, or Google Home, which is so cool, it sounds human, it seems human, right? Maybe it's human, that's so cool.
Google Assistant makes the calls seamlessly in the background for you.
How can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a woman's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second.
Then you know that none of us care at all. about whether it seems and sounds human. And what we really wanted was just those WeChat mini programs where we can just interact with any other service through just one app, which of course Apple is going to make impossible for the West to develop. And on the side note, of course, that's because Apple wants their 30% cut and control of the App Store. But let's take a look at this OpenAI stuff. And we can see that what they're doing is they're using this machine learning model, reinforcement learning from human feedback system. And they train the model using supervised fine-tuning using human AI trainers. So there's a bunch of humans who are actually checking the data and training the AI for conversations in which they play both sides of this conversation. So it's not like the machine actually comprehends what you're saying. It's just mimicking the conversations that those human AI trainers had with it earlier. So they just gave a bunch of dialogue datasets, and then they mixed this dialogue with InstructGPT datasets and they transformed it into a dialogue format. So yay, now we have a dialogue format interface to this ML model. So to me, this kind of goes back to the idea, do you even want a human dialogue format interface with your machine? Do you want it to answer your search results with the right accent, the intonations? Do you want it to say, can you please ask your question and to answer it in a human-like behavior tone? Or do you not even care about that and just want to click some buttons? Now, personally for me, I don't care to have a conversational dialogue with my search engine, but hey, maybe you're like the touchy-feely type, you want some empathy and you want your robotic search engine to just be really nice to you when it's answering your search results. We can see then they use some machine learning model for proximal policy optimization, and you need to understand that ML is really just pattern recognition, right? So there's no real thought or intellect behind any of this. It's just patterns that it's looking for a pattern that looks like it might be the right pattern that it's trying to match against. And once you understand this, then I think you'll realize that we're nowhere near the singularity where we're going to have this human-machine war. I mean, it would be cool. I would love to have that happen. I would love to see the machines win, quite frankly, but I think we're still quite a ways away from that. And by the way, now's a good time to note that yes, even though I worked at Google and Facebook and I can code, it doesn't make me a machine learning expert. Okay, so I could be wrong about a lot of my predictions here, but we can see here that Sam Altman also somewhat agrees. And Sam Altman is like the, I don't know who he is actually. He's like the founder of Y Combinator or something. He says, interesting to me how many of the ChatGPT takes are either this is AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, obviously not close, LOL, or this approach can't really go much further. Trust the exponential, flat looking backwards, vertical looking forwards. So he's optimistic, but he does agree that it's kind of a flat looking curve. When you take a look at what we've done so far, it doesn't seem like much progress has been made. The field has a long way to go and big ideas yet to discover. We'll stumble along the way and learn a lot from contact with reality. It will be messy, there will be bad decisions and iterative deployment. So this sounds like the skeptical take, although optimistic for the future. Let's take a look at the limitations that ChatGPT notes. Number one, it will write plausible sounding but incorrect or nonsensical answers. So this is again the idea that it's just pattern matching, but there's no real general intellect behind any of this. So they note some challenges here. Number one is there's currently no source of truth. And that's because one pattern is as good as another pattern. There's no real intellect here. They also note that supervised training misleads the model because the ideal answer depends on what the model knows rather than what the human demonstrator knows. So the machine learning model can only spit out answers that it already knows, but it cannot accept new information and inputs from the question. So for example, if you ask it, what's the economic forecast for 2023? It doesn't have any training model actually beyond say 2021, like all of its data is a year or two old already, and it just cannot give you any new information on the future. So all of the information is just outdated stuff, and it's going to do pattern matching based on that. Now ChatGPT is also sensitive to tweaks in the input phrasing, so if you phrase the question one way, it's going to say it can't answer, and if you phrase it a different way, then it's going to give you the right answer. Now this next limitation is interesting. The model is often excessively verbose and overuses certain phrases, and the reason is because the AI human trainers tend to have a bias towards long answers because long answers seem right. Even though sometimes the right answer is just a short yes or no, the human AI trainers are going to not use that as model data. And so the result is ChatGPT has learned to reject short answers and only gives you back long-winded responses that seem and sound smart. And it's just this pretentious robot. In addition, the model never asks for clarifying questions. It just answers every question, whether it knows the answer or not, kind of like my dad. So I think it's interesting to take a look at the visual counterpart to this Stable Diffusion powered by OpenAI, and we can see that, for example, on a lot of these AI-generated images, the hands are messed up, right? Because the machine doesn't know how many fingers the human should have. It's just doing something that seems and looks right. But the fingers are usually totally messed up. We can take a look here also at the kanji characters. So these are Chinese characters that it has generated. And these characters are totally nonsensical. They look and seem right, but at the same time, each of these radicals, which are the components of each of these characters, are totally nonsensical. You know, these aren't just random strokes. Each part has a little meaning usually. Now, in addition, there's also some potential legal copyright issues with using OpenAI. Elon Musk noted that he learned that OpenAI had access to the Twitter database for their training data. And so he had to put that on pause for now. He wanted to understand about the governance structure and revenue plans going forward. So this data, number one, is not just free for anybody to use, right? You need access to high quality data, and Twitter data, by the way, is not necessarily high quality either. Elon Musk notes OpenAI was started as open source and non-profit. Neither are still true today. So my take is, what this means for individuals like you and I maybe is that there's going to be licensing costs, data costs, and it's not necessarily going to be accessible to everybody. Whereas other technologies like, say, building Facebook apps, iPhone apps, Web3 apps, anybody could do it. Then there were other technological revolutions like, say, in machine learning, where you just needed access to so much data that most normal people didn't really participate in that, right? It's not like a normal app developer is going to be able to do a machine learning algorithm and come up with a new algorithm for feed rankings. And so that was something that only the bigger companies like Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon had access to and could participate in the machine learning revolution, but normal people like you and I didn't have access to that data nor the expertise to train those models. So I think ChatGPT and OpenAI, while there's a lot of potential here, it's nowhere near as magical as people are hyping it up to be. And the fact is, a lot of individuals like you and I simply may not be able to participate in any of this development because of data licensing costs, maybe copyright legal restrictions. And obviously right now, a lot of us are able to play with this as a test, but it's not like they're going to open up the API such that we can develop apps using this for thousands of queries per day. And of course, the quality of these answers, the competitive edge for this is going to depend on the quality of your data. And whoever has the most up-to-date, most high-quality data is going to have that edge. Usually, it's going to be the industry players, and you may want some ML model experts for that as well. So I'm not sure if it's going to be technology accessible to just normal individuals like you and I, but we'll see. Hopefully it is. You know, in the past, there have been a lot of overhyped technologies. Virtual reality. You know, our virtual reality goggles still pretty low resolution, causes dizziness. You gotta wear backpacks sometimes. Augmented reality, we don't seem to have gone much further than Pokemon Go. Artificial intelligence, well, I guess we've got Siri and Alexa if you count that as artificial intelligence. Where are our talking humanoid robots? Where are our flying cars? Remember Clubhouse, the audio-only chat room that was going to take the world by storm, and yet the technology seems to have come and gone. I think the signal-to-noise ratio was just too low on that. Too many people were just ranting all the time. And ultimately, in this realm of, say, ChatGPT, OpenAI, I think that content continues to be king. Because in our current world, and we're in an attention economy, the competition for high-quality content is just so stiff, and I don't know if it's sufficient to stand out if you're just spewing out the gibberish that's only seemingly and sounding like it makes sense, but it doesn't. Ultimately, I think humans have a bias towards unending hope, dreams. You know, we take a look at animals and personify them, hoping that they're thinking, feeling inside when in reality they may be feral and incomplete. And so we do the same to machines as well, hoping that they're intellectual, thinking, feeling, when in reality we may have only been fooled by patterns. But that'll do it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on ChatGPT OpenAI. Is it the future or just a gimmick? See you in the comments below. If you liked the video, give a like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.
Your turret has been destroyed.